Wow, what a performance. So I hope this video doesn't get taken down because of copyright. I'm going to have to find some way to present it to you so that it doesn't get taken down. So what you saw was the BTS seven-member boy band from South Korea performing their YouTube video called On. And they are the reason why I wanted to bid on overlands or hexagons in South Korea. So if you don't know, BTS is a very popular global K-pop band. I really don't want to call them K-pop for Korean pop. It's because they really transcend that genre. Their music is just phenomenal. They're all talented. They have a tremendously fantastic four-member vocal line. They have a rap line. They have a dance line. If you don't know BTS by now, where have you been hiding? Okay, so I better stop because this can be a whole channel for BTS, and I do not want that to be it. So I'm going to show you what hexagons I bid in Seoul, Korea, and why. Well, BTS is why. So recently, they have moved from their previous location, which they were under that brand name Big Hit Entertainment. They just rebranded themselves to Hybe Corporation. So the new company actually moved into the trade center in Seoul, and then they totally took over. Now, I never heard of OVR before until maybe a month and a half later. And once I did, and I started bidding on land where I lived and in different popular countries, I would have never thought to bid on land in Seoul, Korea. But because of BTS, it was just like a no-brainer. Number one, I love them so much, and I just want to be a part of them. So the only way to be a part of them was to somehow own hexagons where they're headquartered at. So I'm going to share my screen right now, and I'm going to show you. I hope really this is the location. I must have spent over an hour trying to figure out if it was the right location. I had to map out the photos, mapping it out to Google Maps and seeing how it corresponded to the OVR.ai layout. So you'll see. Now, my previous video, I did share my strategy on how I was able to find hexes, and more importantly, make sure that the hexes that I bid on the Overland platform actually corresponded to the locations in real life. So if you want to know more about that, you can click on this YouTube card right above here and bookmark it and then watch it later. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so the first thing I did was actually type in Google BTS Hybe building, and it showed me the photos of the building. But you know what? It doesn't really give you much to go on. So this is where I really had an issue. The only thing that I noticed was these two images right here, this one and then this one. So if we click on this image right here, I had to make sure that on Google Maps on 2D mode, I can somehow identify this building. And another thing, I wasn't sure if it was this building because where they showed the images over here, it had the logo. This one didn't. But then, of course, companies that buy out buildings or move, they can always just, place their signage on the building. So after I was 99.9% sure, okay, maybe 98% that this was the building, then I went over to Google Maps. And plus I went to the address. I found the address on Google, and then I went over to Google Maps and I did the same thing. And the photo that it showed me was the photo of the building that I have shown you over here. So I was like, okay, so maybe this is the building. And I copied this address and I figured, okay, is this it? I don't know, but it's definitely the address. I don't know Korean. I'm not sure what naming conventions they have for the street. So I'm just going to go by this 42 Hanggang-daero. And I'm thinking, here it is. And my goodness, this better be it. So then I ended up going on to satellite mode. You can't see it right here, but I ended up going on to satellite mode. And so here's this building. And I had to think, I guess it looks like it. It does. It does. So I love going on 2D mode. Let's see if we can kind of like it's kind of hard, but just know that I went through this process and I really felt that this was it. I also took this little man down here and put him over there. And I found out that the latest picture that the Google Street View camera took was in 2016, where this building was still under construction. So it didn't really give the current location like this did. So once I felt that this was the Hybe Corporation building, BTS's headquarters, where they practice, I don't know. I don't know if where they practice, they probably have some apartments where they can sleep while they're practicing. I went over to the OVR.ai website and I mapped out where it was. I did the same thing. I copied the address, I put it here, and then it gave me this location. And I figured, you know what? Okay, there's the street, like what you see, like what we saw here on the map. Okay, this is in Korean, but you get me. Let's go back here. This was the street, and I figured, okay, so this could be it. It better be it. And then that's where I went in closer and I saw that maybe the layout. So I noticed that this shape here, there's like a little space that could be a foyer or an entrance going into the building. And I'm like, So I went over here and let me see if I could go really close. If I go back to street view, I'm thinking this is it. I mean, I'm hoping it is. It's not exact the way this is laid out, just like in here, but it's just similar. All I can go by is the street names. And I know that I couldn't really find the street name here because it's all in Korean. I'm just hoping that it is. I know that when I did search before, it was it. Yes, I'm pretty confident. I know this is like crazy. You guys are might thinking, are you sure? Now I noticed that a bunch of hexagons have already been bidded on and owned. And I figured, okay, well, I'm going to do this over here. Now, in my previous video, I showed you that I also bought some hexagons or bid on hexagons, and now I own them in the National Museum of Korea. And the reason why I did that, which is over here, is because BTS had performed here in this venue. And I'm going to see if I could show that right now. So when I saw this video and it said that they were performing at the National Museum of Korea, it was like perfect. It was a no-brainer for me. So I made sure to look it up on Google Maps and there it was. And here they were probably performing here. I was able to map this out right over here. And like I said, I always like going into 3D mode so I can get a better idea of the layout. And I thought, okay, this was perfect. I'd like to get hexagons here and some inside over here. So when I went back into the OVR platform and I noticed, okay, so here is the National Museum of Korea. There's that pond. And I had to get 2 hexagons that I would say this is the outdoor part and the indoor part. And people have already bid and own it, but you know what? To me, it feels so good to know that I have some type of connection to BTS where they performed. Hopefully they'll perform here again. It's a really beautiful space. And as well as, you know, owning 2 hexagons in their headquarters. Anyway, I'm going to stop sharing right now. That's all. I just wanted to share that with you. This is the reason why I bought some hexagons in Seoul, Korea, was because of BTS. And who knows, like, I don't know. I just feel so good about it. Will I ever get to meet them? I would really love to go to one of their concerts. I think that's something on the bucket list. But honestly, I'm just really so happy that I own part of something that BTS is also part of. So we'll see where this goes. Maybe I will write them like a letters, and I would like post them on the hexagons, and hopefully they will, they'll download the OVR app and use their mobile phone and then look at the space and see my letters to them. And they're not love letters, other than there's just going to be letters of gratitude, thanking them for all the positivity that they have brought to this world. And they just have done such tremendous work in bringing so many people together. So much so that I had to create a separate Twitter account just so I can go to town and like stan all of them, because they're just so talented. And that's one of the reasons why I love them, is because they are absolutely talented and they are so hardworking. They've been together since June 2013 and they have never stopped, and they have continuously put out content. And I better stop right now because this is not about BTS. Anyway, I hope you liked this video and it gave you some idea as to why you would choose to own land in overland or hexagons. I will be doing more videos on strategy and helping people like you who aren't even aware that there's such a thing that you can buy virtual land or spatial web properties, and what you can do with them. Because the OVR community, the reason why we all got together is because we truly believe in this project, and we've been waiting for something like this. We knew augmented reality was going to happen. It is the future, and we were just waiting for it to just take form and shape. And we believe that with OVR.ai, this is really the start of it in a very, very serious way. And I know that there are so many people that are just not aware of these emerging technologies and how it's going to change their world and their life and their behaviors. Maybe not so much now for the older generation, but definitely for the younger ones. This is their future. And for those of us a little bit older, maybe it's a way for us to like take part in the evolution of what's going to happen when we're gone, and at least we can leave our mark. And that's another thing, leaving a legacy. Maybe I will do the next video will be on leaving a legacy on OVR.ai. So as I said before, do consider subscribing to this channel if you are curious or interested about the OVR.ai platform, metaverses, and augmented reality, and especially NFTs, non-fungible tokens, because I did say on previous videos that each hexagon is actually an NFT. Isn't that amazing? We can go more into what an NFT is in another video, but I'm just going to cut it short for now. And so where you are in this world, have a great day, have a great evening, and stay tuned for the next channel. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Okay, bye-bye.